Alrighty. Good morning, and thank you anyone that decides to check this out. Going to give it a minute, trying to get everything set up and started up. Just as a short recap of yesterday, so obviously this is Nerd with No Land. We are doing a Prelude to 4. This is a starting off series where we are playing through all of the mainline Borderlands series and their DLCs, leading up to the 4th game releasing on September 12th of this year. I have quite a bit of experience in the games. I'd say at minimum 10,000 hours total across the series. I couldn't give you much better of an estimate. A majority of that time is on this first game. From there, it gets a little bit worse off towards 3. But like I said, I've played a ton of the entire series, love the whole franchise, and just am a huge fan in general. We are right now level 29. We have just finished off defeating Crom, getting the second vault piece. Last session, we actually ended up getting through meeting Tanis, a couple other things. We met up with Crazy Earl, a couple beloved characters throughout the series, some of our favorite NPCs kind of thing. We have a few other odds and ends, little side quests, set up a new bounty board, some stuff like that. Farmed up some nice little gear, nothing too crazy though. We picked up a new Defiler, some stuff like that. We'll show some of that off. We showed off a Easter egg that's only available at a specific point in the playthrough. For the Christmas, Christmas movie. Gearbox put it in, and it is the only available Gearbox manufacturer weapon before the Game of the Year remaster from 2019 that was available in the game, and that is the Ryder sniper rifle here, which is available in a green and blue rarity. And that is only available if you have just received another piece of the puzzle where you are supposed to head to the Trash Coast mission. If you have just received this mission and have not even done anything with it, you're able to do this Easter egg, which is just heading back into New Haven. And then you can pop back over here to this blue house. If you approach, the door will open. You can come on down this way. You'll have some friends down here. Normally there's not 3 badasses down here, which is kind of wild. These guys are kind of nuts today. That's wild. This should be good XP. This is actually a really good XP farm, surprisingly. Being that you can get badasses to spawn up forward. If you do get a little overzealous spawns like that, you can just kite them around the railing here, and it helps. But you get the Christmas tree, the lamp with the leg. You get a legitimate, like regular white chest down here. Typically not going to have anything all that. But the red chest down here will have a regular sniper and your Ryder, which can be green rarity with no accessory, or it will have an accessory right there, which will make it blue rarity. quite a bit rarer to have the blue rarity pop up because most of the parts are set in stone. And remember, you can only get this at this exact point in the story, which means you can only get 2 of these, or only get this at 2 separate times. One in the first playthrough, one in the second. So, this is kind of a niche weapon. It's really not going to be super useful for you, but it is fun nevertheless. I wouldn't really stress all that much. Neat for the collection, but it's not exactly a game changer for you. But to get started with today, we are going to be starting off our day with going over to Old Haven. Old Haven is the original town of Haven. We're gonna go find out what's going on over there. They have some smoke signals popping up out of it, or just smoke coming out of it, and we're gonna go find out what's going on there for them. We did pick up a new Pestilent Defiler with quite a bit more damage. That's what I was talking about. We're still rocking our level 13 Double Anarchy, still shreds pretty well, and we did get an upgraded shotgun. We've kind of retired sledges. This does about the same damage in a single shot that Sledges was doing with that burst. So that's kind of why we went ahead and retired it. Slight upgrade to our class mod. Just a bit more damage on that. A newer transfusion and a slightly better shield. Nothing all that impressive on the shield front. Current skill tree is still max damage for weapons pretty much over here. Not utilizing the capstone on phase strike at this point. We might, depending on kind of situation, if we can find a really nice melee blade on like a revolver. We found one last session that was a 200% melee damage. We can find like a 250. We might go ahead and swap over and just go full phase walk melee. That definitely is an option at this point. But for the time being, we're going full gun damage. And then right now we have Quicksilver and Spark, just for when we are using something that has elemental. Decent shot we go off of Spark at this point. It's Spark and Radiance are kind of interchangeable. Elemental resistance. We really just need to get down to intuition. The movement speed is so crucial. We're really just kind of in a spot where getting to this tier of skills is really nice. Because then we could also just swap over to this blue tree and get into girl power or something along those lines, or inner glow. You see what I'm saying? Like, getting to this third level of a second tree would really just open up a lot, whether we want full survivability or we want a lot more access to mobility and damage. But from there, we are going to go ahead and head over and go to the outer yard and start our day off over in this direction. It's just a little bit quicker. We're gonna start off over this way. Oh, by the way, I told you guys yesterday, you know, I had to in stream because of I was going to pick up my dog who had surgery, remove some tumors, that kind of stuff. You know, she's home. She's still a little groggy, a little tired, that kind of stuff. She's doing, as far as I can tell, pretty all right. So that's good. Everything seems fine. The doctor was pretty happy with how everything went. So all in all, it seems pretty good. Right now, I got her set up with like her whole dog bed on the couch, wrapped up with her entire like donut and cone set up. Like she's not exactly like super happy with the situation, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. She's been better. She's been better, but you know, she'll be all right. As before, I am going to pop out, grab the chest again. Like I've said before, it's always just worth. You never know, especially when it's just a red chest. If it was a white, there's never really... It's, you know, a 30-second detour for a white chest just doesn't quite feel as worth it, in my opinion. But when you're talking about a red, you know... It could just be anything. And even if it's just that's a pretty good chunk of money. It would have been better if it was a chest full of class mods. That would have been nice. But you know, you take what you get. Let's since we're over this way. Let's go ahead and try to get Widowmaker. Let's go ahead and try to knock that out. Just because we're here, we already did Helob, the spider ant. Or should I say the other spider ant?
Hello! There are new missions available at the Middle of Nowhere Bounty Board. Oh! Crazy Earl has more jobs he'd like that choke gold hunter to do.
Alright, so our boy should spawn here. Get it out so it doesn't damage the car, like I said before. Probably would have rather not hit him with that, but... Yeah, spider ants just always super. Ah, it's a thumper. I got super excited with that damage. I thought it was a little bit higher level, and I thought it would have been another double anarchy. I didn't even get time to see the element, but yeah, thumpers are just not my cup of tea when it comes to SMGs, but they're not bad. It's just one of those, why go for that when there's quite a few more effective options, in my opinion. Yeah. Come here and dabble.
More meat for me!
You can head on over this way. There will be another travel over to a few other locations through this way. Just catching a save beacon. See, now we're getting something decent. Probably gonna buy this just purely based off the ammo regen. It is only 3, which is not a ton. I mean, obviously. But if I hop over here, you see it's going up a little bit at a time. So, you know, I just went through 40, for example. So it's not going to offset the use by any means. But what it will allow is me to, when I swap off of the double anarchy, I can then use something else for a couple seconds, swap back over to it, and get a quick mag dump. I think if I remember, 3 or 4 ammo regen is right around that 1 a second mark. So if you can get to that, that's kind of a really solid point to be at. So this is your kind of sweet spot of where you understand what's going on here in Old Haven. So Old Haven was taken over by unsavory characters, and that's why Old Haven was left alone. Old Haven seems to have new unsavory characters. Quite a few of them at that. So once we actually start running into our new friends here. Oh, there we are. So this is our first interaction with the Lance. So this is Atlas's military unit, the Crimson Lance. We met Commandant Steele through the Echo.
They hired bandits to stop all road traffic, then killed them rather than pay up. As a business strategy, murdering their employees will see diminishing returns.
So we met Commandant Steele earlier through Echo logs that, Echo communication that she was doing with us. The Lance are a bit difficult because they have like a lot of armor, and then they have a lot of weird enemy types. So, you know, the Defiler here has that AoE burst, and that's the only reason why I'm hitting him. But if you looked at something like a weapon that doesn't do any AoE, let me swap over to, yeah, I'll just go to the shotgun. Next time we get to one of them. These guys are a lot more of a pain to deal with because they actually have just straight up impenetrable armor plate on different parts of their body. And you're even seeing it here. They're just taking significantly more damage to put down. Just straight zeros. And they have abilities like you saw one of the engineers put down a turret. That's that was Roland's Scorpio turret, which is actually more of a nod, or not even a nod, just a legitimate way to point out exactly where Roland came from. Roland's backstory is he was a Lance soldier. He worked directly for the Crimson Lance, for Atlas. And then he defected. So it's... You're gonna see they have a lot going for them in terms of what they can do. And it only gets worse in terms of how much they can do. The further into the game we get, the more we see they can do. But this is kind of what we're doing. We're shutting down these fires. Yep, just snuffing out the fire. They're not all powerful by any means, but they are definitely quite the threat in terms of when an entire pod just kind of swarms you. They have much more of a shield than anything we've dealt with up to this point. As well as you're also looking at, typically they're going to have much better gear. That's a pretty good support machine gun. Still don't think I'd use it, but you know. This area also allows itself very well to be kind of explored. It's one of the best kind of full exploration areas that we get. It's also kind of the first area for like outdoor city type thing with enemies. I'm trying to headshot him. Really shouldn't worry about it. You do also run into the issue of, because there's so many chests here, you run out of space almost instantly. As usual though, I'm just gonna kind of drop the super cheap stuff and not really worry about it. that was just the elemental dot, by the way, that took care of that for me. There it is. The turrets are not exactly like huge, like damaging, just insta kills. But they are quite annoying. So it's nice to kill them whenever you can, if you can kind of catch them ahead of the game. That was a dead input on the jump, so that kind of sucks. Would have been nice to try to make the leap of faith there. Whoever's got that rocket, gonna... Now I'm gonna look and actually see what's in here, just in case. That's a nuts. So Bloody Revolver from Jacobs is gonna be one of the higher damage. Just like if you just see that name, you typically are gonna know it's gonna be a pretty high damage revolver without having to know parts and really worry about all the super deep in the weeds parts of it. You can kind of just really base level know that's going to be fairly high damage. Same thing with snipers. A gamble is going to be high damage and high crit bonus. So, nothing there. There is the actual DLC that specifically kind of focuses on the Crimson Land and Atlas as a whole, called the I had an entire brain fart. Sorry, guys. The general, essentially, it's the Nox DLC. It's the Armory of General Nox. Kind of a play on Fort Knox for in America is what it is. But yeah, we have a DLC on here, and it's all focused on breaking into a locked up kind of setup that they have. It's pretty nice. It's a good DLC, and you get to kind of interact a lot more with some of the cool characters. Alright, let's we'll do the rest of this and then I'll find that shit. Gotta get away from that shit, because I definitely hit that barrel. Let's see kind of where we're at on the... See, so region about 300. Treasure map. You are here. Oh shit. Danger. Fuck that. Suicide. Okay. Yeah. Me. I'll get the rest of the fires really quick, and then we'll worry about the claptrap here. That I don't hear, which is a little odd.
end to my power?
So, what we're looking at right about now is chasing down the last couple of fires, which should be the rooftops. Yep. I knew there was one over here. It's a matter of have not actually made a full playthrough trying to do all of the different stuff in a long time. So this is fun in the sense of getting to actually make sure I'm going back through this. I remember a lot of it, but man, there's so many little details that just trying to make sure I get it all. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where that claptrap is, where he's supposed to be, because I'll even look that up on my phone, because I'm gonna be honest, guys, I don't quite remember much there. We got the little homie here, but there ain't anything over there. Well, oh, okay. So Tanis has a mission not without my claptrap, and this claptrap will not actually appear until we've done that mission. And I guess I've typically never done that mission, or never done this before I've done that mission. So that's the issue here. That's an odd one. Well, we understand. But nevertheless, we shall continue on. Without any added move speed, you can't make that jump typically. Without, like, really good timing. Or making it from one of the slightly extended points, which there are a couple of. So as you guys have seen, though, this place is extremely profitable to come and grind out a little bit of XP and kills. Super great spot for you. I'm surprised we haven't gotten anything super valuable gear-wise, really. I would normally come here and find quite a bit better gear, actually, but you know, all's good on that front. We still have really solid gear, so I'm definitely not hurting. And I mean, as we know, we're more than fine on that front. I am gonna move that waypoint. Let's go and find our friend's treasure, though. It is funny, you know, Rust Commons East travel point, so you can't actually go to the door. You have to go over here to the side. I have no idea why they had to do it that way, or why they chose. I think it's just one of those incredibly funny. And they also never remove the smoke piles, or the smoke stacks, essentially, even though you completely fix it. So now we are heading over to the Daw Headlands. Easier for us to just head to this car station, or catch a ride.
Crazy Earl has more jobs he'd like that chump Vault Hunter to do. Look at you roll. Are you about ready to get rolling?
Let's get some wheels.
Calm down.
This is going to be a bit shorter stream today, just a heads up. Probably around like 3 hours-ish. I've been trying to do quite a bit longer than that normally. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. It's also just, honestly, not too hard. I tend to enjoy kind of sitting down, talking. Kind of playing with you guys. Yep, bad reward.
Makes guns for professional mercs. They're heavy, accurate, and effective.
A rocket launcher.
Enough to hold one.
Nothing really noteworthy over here.
If you need healing, step right up.
So this, although a good bit more capacity, the recharge rate is what really, in this game, is what really like keeps you up. Because your biggest kind of stopgap on here, being the linear scaling, your capacity isn't really gonna save you all that much when the like recharge delay is the same. In Borderlands 2, they introduce recharge delay as a stat that can be changed. So on here, for the shield itself, the shield itself is just same recharge delay for everything. So your recharge rate being, 20% faster, or I guess 25% faster in this case, is, a massive boon. And although it's like, that's 90 more capacity, you see how quickly your shield disappears. Like, I'm spending almost all of my time at half health or so, some manner of not full health, and my shield is typically some level of injured and trying to be recharged. So that's why I'm not really going to jump on that one. Once I get to a point where I can swap over to a build where I have more of that sustain built in, I might look at that more. But for the time being, that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, more of the same. Because we're here, I'm just gonna go over to the Doll Headland. It's just convenient to stop here, turn in some quests while I was here to get to the fast travel instead of going to a different one. See if Lucky's got anything interesting in the shop. Desert Thumper.
Out of here.
So there are a few side quests out here too that we could do while we're here, but I'm probably not going to worry about stopping and checking those out. Just a little bit more of the same. All of that early farming and grinding we did with those side quests really just kind of were to make it so that we don't have to worry about focusing so much on that from here on out. Now we're in, a much better place for that. So we got our little ramp out to the side here. So all of this, if you do fall off, is instant death. So try to make sure you stay on the path.
Mine.
And you get a okay SMG and a worse class mod. But you got a chest, and that chest will now be here all the time. You can farm it too, but this isn't a great area to farm, so probably not gonna make our way out here all that often. just gonna look, see if there's anything all that. Mostly checking if there's any quests that are really super valuable. Okay, we can do the circle over at the middle of nowhere. We'll hop on and actually do that. That should be pretty fun, and that should give pretty solid XP. Rewards are alright too, but mostly the XP and, you know, good bit of rough combat. Or maybe not rough, but you know what I mean. Potentially, like, decent combat, and then we'll be able to go into the next kind of area of game. Oh yeah, I already picked up the quest. I was about to go back to the middle of nowhere. Yep, so just like with the last one, we have to go meet the guy running it now. So we have to go back to where we did that SMG scavenger hunt. Honestly, it's probably just about as quick. Just hoof it. And in case anyone wonders why I do the bunny hops, it's not quite as fast and as important as in like Half-Life and, you know, those kind of games where you're really like leaning into the preserve momentum, that kind of, to that extent at least. But you do a significant amount of momentum preserving by some of these short hops. So it is pretty nice and helpful for you to kind of while you're moving. And as you guys have probably seen, the terrain is not always as smooth as it should be. So you end up running into a lot of points where the terrain does slow you down, where it would be a lot more convenient for it to have just kind of not been there. And the best way for you to not be on the terrain that's slowing you down is to just jump. So when you're running, it's a bit more convenient to jump intermittently and kind of a bootleg bunny hop almost. That's kind of why I do it. It's like I said, you're not building momentum in the same way as like on Half-Life and stuff like that, but you are. It's a bit faster with some of the inconsistencies of the terrain. So with this, you're primarily fighting bandits, so you're not going to deal with, you know, random skags, or like, you're not going to deal with the skags exclusively, stuff like that. It's primarily bandits, so bruisers and badasses are going to be kind of your biggest targets that are going to really suck. So we're going to go from there. It's important to try to keep the psychos away from you, because they specifically do really heavy damage. especially, and once you start getting them on you, they're going to slow down your movement. And then they're going to make it easier because you're not moving for the ranged guys to start hitting you. Okay, that's perfect, dude. So, literally first round got a pretty incredible upgrade for our shield. Like I literally was talking about, 10 minutes ago. You just, better recharge rate is king in this kind of situation. So, yeah. And the reason this shield is because it's the exact same level, the exact same capacity. You'll notice it's a blue rarity because the parts are different. So it's got better rarity parts that are giving it the features of Alacritus and Panacea? However you're supposed to say the word. I don't claim to be the best in them, whatever, what have you. But, so it's got better recharge rate and the quick health regen instead of very slow health regen. So that's going to, on its own, just kind of make everything better for us. Now, honestly, that's probably the best upgrade gear-wise that we've gotten yet. So, badass bruiser off the rip. Too badass out of that. Throw out a couple transfusions, probably, depending on how this starts going. I'll at least keep that one out for now. And remember, I always have my phase walk as a kind of get out of jail free card for this. More spawning. Because of that, I'll throw another. I'd like to drain, but to shred through, it's a bit more advantageous to go ahead and get up on him. That reload's coming in handy. Go ahead, phase wall. From behind the back. Since I have all the midget psychos, take that time to. I'm actually going to focus in, hopefully kill him doing that. And instead of okay. Instead of waiting till after all the rounds, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the gear now, just so it's not quite as much, a little bit easier to deal with at the end. And so I don't forget anything. I don't think anything all that impressive dropped that round, but I'd just rather have it all picked up. But you see how fast my health's regenning just because of that shield now? That shield alone, honestly, I think that makes it where I don't really have much of a worry about needing to go for the blue path on my tree now. I'm much more comfortable just kind of rocking with what I had previously. Yeah, so 3 very similar SNS gun support guns and a Vladoff. Yeah. Very mid. So this should be probably a fairly spooky one. Okay. guy over here's got the rocket there. You see him with the corrosive rocket. Completely whiffed that shot. What's going on, guys? Nice to have a couple of y'all in here. We are doing the third round of the Middle of Nowhere Circle of Slaughter right now. This is my Prelude to 4. It's just a series I'm doing kind of leading up to the 4th Borderlands game releasing in September. I've played like a bit over 10,000 hours is just a rough guesstimate on the Borderlands series. Gonna get right back next to him for my second win. Double Anarchy makes that easy. Like that a little bit. His walk. Now that I got the midgets, I'll go on and focus on the bruiser again. Kind of the same thing. So I have another set of second wins, kind of whenever I need it. Kind of makes life a little bit easier. And then you can just pull out the defiler and post now. Should only be one more bruiser, I think. Oh, and the badass raider here. Oh, I forgot. That last wave comes in. Shouldn't be too bad. Go ahead and swap back over to the double anarchy. I'll go down here. I'll wait for him to down. Actually, no. I'll be fine. I have the transfusion out. He's stuck in the ground, if you didn't notice. Oh, he stood back up. He was just crouched. And that was an easy third round. I'm a bit over level now because I've, again? Yet another? Wow. Sometimes we gotta teach you this lesson, old man. But, yeah. Like I said, this is just kind of something a little bit easy and fun. Kind of warming up some good combat before we push the story a little bit. We've done a few side quests today before we go ahead and push the final, well, not the final, the next major story point. We are going to the Trash Coast to track down another vault key piece. Gonna see kind of what's going on with that. Not quite sure, so to say. If you have any idea what that is, you know, off call. That fire machine gun's pretty decent. Probably still not worth using with what we kind of got going on. Since I'm almost 31, I'm gonna start using that SNS sniper here soon. We did actually farm up a blue rarity rider earlier, also just to kind of show off that you can get a blue rider. It can come in green rarity and blue, because it can also spawn with a accessory slot, giving it the an elemental effect, bumping its rarity up. But aside from that, we are... There we go. Oh. So the rider's getting retired now, and there's no way that's anything worth it. Yeah. Go ahead and get our intuition. Yep, so from here we are probably just gonna push straight on to the story and do a few things in the Trash Coast while we're there. But now we're pretty heavily over leveled at this point. we should be able to just kind of steamroll the main story and then knock out a few DLCs. Like I've said before, the whole goal of this is the main playthrough of all of the mainline games, including the pre-sequel, as well as all of the DLCs for those games. We're not going to worry about completionist for any of them, mainly because of things like the Underdome. I will do the initial playthrough for that,
Walking.
but I'm not completing. I'm not completing Underdome. That's just not happening, guys. But at least that's the goal. September 12th is when 4 releases, so we have plenty of time. We started today with about 11 hours played on this character for Borderlands 1. I should be able to finish this up in probably grand total of less than, I'd say 20 hours if I'm being like really just casual. And I've tried to be really kind of fun with it and make sure that I'm showing off nice little cool tips, tricks, whatever, what have you. Does anyone have any kind of questions about 4 coming up? I obviously don't have any kind of crazy insider information, but I do a ton of research and I have scoured every little bit of information I can for the 4th game. So if there's something out there about it, I might have an idea of what's going on, that someone that just doesn't dig as deep might not quite know. So if there's something that you are curious about and want to know, go ahead and type it in the chat and I'll see if I know it. I might be able to help you out, get an idea of what's going on ahead of time. But for the time being, we are heading over to the Trash Coast.
Crazy Earl has more jobs he'd like that chump Vault Hunter to do.
Yeah. As I've stated, we're probably not going to do most of those kind of side quests anymore. We're probably pretty much good on that. And if I can find honestly, if I can find a really solid bladed like revolver at this point, or like a bladed Unforgiven in general, just a bladed Unforgiven, I think I'd probably full swap to a melee phase walk build and call it a day. We have enough skill points now, we can make that work and just kind of carry through with that.
It is not yet over, and it is not yet time to rest. Much depends on your actions moving forward. This last challenge will be your greatest.
Let's go take care of these guys too while we're here. I don't want to take too long with it, so I'll just kind of bum rush it. Won't really explore while we're here for it, but definitely want to. Like I showed before, these guys are worth quite a bit of experience. The crab worms, they're always worth your time to just throw a couple rounds at. If you hit their eye, which is their critical spot, you will almost just instantly kill them pretty much. So it is it's so valuable to just throw rounds at him, try to kill him pretty quick.
I'm really good at this.
Shoot 'em all!
More loot? I do.
Went the wrong way. Used to be able to parkour up this mountain. Curious if they, with the remaster, I've talked about it throughout the other streams. They've smoothed out a lot of the surfaces and they've blocked off a lot of stuff. So I was worried they might have done that to some of the trash mountain there, but it looks like they didn't, or they didn't do a very good job. There was quite a few other spots, specifically at Sledge's entire area, Headstone Mine. They completely just blocked off massive swaths of area that we used to use to get to out of bounds with, which was, it didn't really do anything for us, but it was fun. So that's kind of sad. You know, it's always bad to shut down fun, especially for no reason.
Oh, come on, let's get down. Come on, everybody. Check me out. I'm dancing. I'm dancing.
It is a little frustrating with this map how it's unlike a lot of the maps where it's very, you know, open-ended in terms of how you can approach it. They definitely want you to have to loop this map several times to accomplish everything, which is a little frustrating for obvious reasons.
Time to pound some meat puppets!
If you're watching and you're curious what I'm using weapon-wise, this is a double anarchy SMG. In this first game, there are a few quirky guns that can actually populate, just because of the way the part system works, that turn out to be very like extremely strong, just because there are unique parts that kind of work out just super effective, because they can end up being on a gun together. In this case, a anarchy and the double prefix can both appear on an SMG, giving it 4 pellets or projectiles, depending on how you want to say it, on a single shot, resulting in a ridiculously powerful SMG. It's typically quite a bit lower damage than your traditional, than your like normal SMG you're gonna find on level, because it's not gonna be receiving any kind of bonus damage from any of its parts. But its massive damage is coming from it's literally quadruple whatever damage it does have, if that makes sense. So a double anarchy, a masher with a revolver, those kind of things are very nice. Carnage with the shotgun, which is a essentially a rocket launcher shotgun, also very good. The Carnage is much more situation based, but still very good. Queen Tarantella. So this is one of the big fancy dancy named boss type enemies. Trying to make sure I get in and actually grab the item. You definitely don't want to miss the drop that she gives. It's not a named that one wasn't like a named unique or anything like that. Legendary. She didn't world drop anything for me, but last thing you want to do is miss legendary. Because I am kind of fat money-wise right now, I don't want to just die to force something.
Look at all this stuff.
You used to be able to do this, and you still can. There we go. Skating by the side over here is always a little bit safer if you're just trying to rush through, which is typically kind of what I'm doing when I'm doing this. This is where you really start to notice the pacing issues in this game. That entire first act before you get out of Firestone mostly is kind of just that's kind of what I see. Before Sledge is that first act, and then you really just start to feel the pacing pick up super rapidly. So it's very felt here in the sense of even with the stretch of leveling issues. Even if I just bum rush the story quests, you're gonna notice I have no issues staying on level, just purely playing the story. So it's kind of a nice mix of things.
You looking to get
Sniper into a blue grenade. I don't think I haven't used our sniper that we grabbed yet. Alrighty, so we got that taken care of. Now let's get out of here. Once we get back over to the kind of start area by where the shops are, we will set up for Bleeder, the other side mission here. Bleeder's a little bit easier. He's just down by the docks there, at that bar building we saw. So you can see with the 1x zoom, it's just so much less jarring on this sniper. Very enjoyable to use, especially for those closer range fights. So Bleeder is a little fun because, you know, especially with all the little guys around here, you would be expecting a very well, not even just that, especially with how most of our bosses have been. You know, normally the bosses are some giant, incredibly monstrous thing. Yeah, no, he's just a leaky boy. It's, you know, his name fits. He's a leaky boy. Cobalt Swatter. That's alright. Each manufacturer does have a naming convention as to how they kind of, and it's based off their what weapon it is and the condition. Also, I don't remember all of the specifics. So, like that cobalt specifically is denoting for that manufacturer the purple rarity. I think for SNS, like our sniper, it literally is perfect if it's purple, I think. Yeah, Malawan is cobalt. I was hoping to see something else as a good example. Oh, we do have a green SNS. Yeah. A nasty. Okay. Yeah. So we don't have anything like super great for. That's sad. Don't have a great example to show. But back to the actual important mission here. No more like setting you guys up for the big reveal, I guess. Come on. Not worried about the shotgun. Revolver's already good. Repeater. Go ahead and do grenades. But shotgun-wise, since we don't use our shotgun all that much, I'm not super worried about ever upgrading that. The shotgun is just more of a carryover whenever we are low on SMG. Ooh. That worked out pretty nice. Nice little chest there. Alright. So, we are coming up on our main objective here. Yep. So, the things that the rock have been coming out of all this time that we keep saying are not just a rock in the ground or like some like dirt they've done, like they dug up or something. It's a living thing. In case you didn't know or like understand. And by the way, there not really anything over here. In case you didn't have ammo, you are kind of boned. Why it's really important. So the main crit spots are not the mouth, question mark. It's the 4 eyes, 2 on each side. But the much more important place to shoot is, well, you know, it's back here in the butthole. Because if you shoot it in the butthole enough, it will diarrhea. See? Like, you would have been able to go your whole life without seeing that. But because of me, you got to see it. So I don't know if you're gonna say you're welcome, but like, you know, that's the polite. I would. God knows I'd never say you're welcome. Most people would bill their therapist to me. It's even worse, like, I think I imagine, like, is it even kind of like is built like an elephant, if that makes sense? So, like, I kind of like to think that's probably what, like, it would look like if an elephant had diarrhea. can get one more right in the spot.
I just keep getting better.
Nice little, exam. Right where he needs it. Like I said before, there's no shop or anything right there, so you have to get all of your ammo from the attacking rock that he spawns. So you are kind of limited by that. So you do need to make sure that you're killing those in a spot that they will drop whatever ammo they do drop in a like attainable spot. So if they fly out over the out of bounds, don't kill them there. You got to make sure they come back into the play area. So, I know we killed him, but he's still kind of alive. So whatever that means. So you don't have to feel bad. Or do. It's up to you whether you feel bad or not, but I like to think that he's still alive. We just we made him tired. So he's gonna take a nap, and then we're good. It's really up to you though. You can feel bad for it. He comes back though. Not very good, but he comes back. You can't really kill that anyways, but I definitely wouldn't kill that. More ammo. There we go. And that is our adventure into the rock hive, which is really weird. When you think about why do they have a chest with the vault key? I mean, obviously they didn't put it there, but if someone could put it here, then it obviously wasn't that hard of a challenge. Oh, and remember how I said I like to think he's alive? Yeah, but see, he's breathing. Right? I don't know, man. In this case, it is just better to probably save exit. It'll at least get us back to the opening zone of the area. If we retrieve the same save game pretty easily and doesn't make us wait a year for it. But I'd like to hope you guys are having a pretty good week. I heard about the stuff going down in Texas, and thoughts and prayers going out to them. Not super great time for them, but an outpouring of help and aid going their way, and you know, it really shows community and the goodness of people's hearts. So that's always wonderful to see in trying times. Maybe save quitting was the bad move. Watching really quick. Already relaunched. Sorry about that. I have no idea why. Yeah, so Blind Squirrel, these are the guys that did most of the work for this remaster. So, you know, eternally grateful for working on the remaster in general for them, or for us. But at the same time, I still much prefer the original release over this remaster. Just really, a lot of the soul of it is missing, in my opinion. A little bit of the jank has to be there. And I think they smoothed out a little bit too much of the jankiness. A little bit too much of the broke stuff doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, gotta go turn this into Tanis, and then we'll go turn in some stuff at New Haven and Nowhere. Yeah, gotta go hit those 3 spots for turn-ins. Because Tanis has more red chests, we'll go there and worry about that instead of.
Whoa! Crazy Earl has more jobs he'd like that chump Vault Hunter to do.
Yeah. So since we're gonna come do these 2 chests over this way with Tanis that are red chests, that's why I'm not worrying about that 1 red chest at the overpass right above us there. Okay. So this is that Tanis mission, where we would be freeing her claptrap in Old Haven.
The loot be mine.
The Cold Torment, that might be worth using. I'll have to look at that. If I remember, it was Shock, I think. That could really be worth something. So that being the case, we're gonna, yeah, we're still gonna pop over to Nowhere and then New Haven before we go over to Old Haven, knock that out for her. And then we're also gonna obviously do the actual claptrap save there for our own inventory stuff. Technically, I said that out of order. We're doing Nowhere first. Just because there's more stuff in New Haven with the vendors and the such that might be worth checking out. In terms of the, it's better to have more money there. the only 100 melee is just really not kind of what I need if I'm gonna go for that swap I was talking about.
Get your meds here.
That nasty raptor's nice damage-wise, but it's just nowhere near good enough to even remotely think about. Detonating SMG's pretty solid. So the patent is pretty cool. Oh, okay, so it was just a standard. Nah. And the nailer, I'll keep the nailer. Probably not. I'm not gonna lie to myself. There's no way I'm using it. So I'm going to go ahead and sell pretty much all of this. The Patton is a reference to General Patton, a American general. Pretty neat little red text. May God have mercy upon my enemies because I won't. Really neat. Really cool. I personally like it. Is it good enough to use? Probably not, to be honest. So we're going to go pop back over to New Haven. Hopefully both weapon shops are open. New Haven shops should have scaled a bit more.
Yes? Did you need something? See you soon.
Oh! Crazy Earl has more jobs he'd like that chump Vault Hunter to do.
That's great, having both shops open. So it looks like they haven't scaled more, but that's fine. That needler's not great. Nothing in here. I know I have that skill point also. I am gonna place that here momentarily, but I wanted to just get through everything first, especially if I was about to find something and swap that out for a swap over to a new build. Wanted to make sure that I was actually gonna do something different first, or stay with what I'm doing. Because if you actually place a skill point, it costs more to respec. So it's a little bit better to stick with what you have if you think you might swap builds. And once again, the reason I'm not swapping grenade mods really, or even worried about checking them, is typically it just doesn't really matter all that much to me. Transfusions are kind of my favorite go-to for leveling and just regular playthroughs. The grenade mods are strong, but I just don't really worry about them. They typically don't get you through all that much in terms of really transformative gameplay. If you're not brick, mostly. that's the sad truth of it. It doesn't do all that much for you, and past that, it's more of just kind of an accessory to your already strong build. Sorry, guys. Wife just got home. So that's a badass defender. They are a bit tankier, and they also have those shoulder plates, which you can probably see. Those can cause a little bit of problems, because just like that big shield, they completely just take 0 damage. So should be able to find the claptrap in here now. Repair kit should be all the way over here.
Those guns absorb a lot of recoil, allowing you to stay accurate throughout the fight.
Sorry about that, guys. Had to help out with the dog for a second. As you watch, just grabbed a couple things for... picked up a couple things along the way. Hooked up the Clappy here. He should help us out. He should lead us over to a chest here. At least I think this one does. Claptraps are... For something like that everyone just uses and abuses, they are so damn like scary. Like scared. A little odd. You know, normally something that's designed to be abused like this would be more used to it. Alright. Really not worried enough about it to sit here and... Oh, That's a pretty gnarly sniper, actually.
Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me.
Either way, we will just head out on that one and let him cower in fear here. He can keep his secrets. Going past that just seems like it's not worth the shake. So this is tracking down the final piece of the vault key. So if you've noticed the actual vault, the vault key pieces we've been tracking down so far, they are actually shaped kind of like a weird, like an ice cream cone, but it's in thirds. So this is us tracking down the final of those thirds. Sorry. Doing a little managing. We're putting down notes so I don't mess up. But as I said,
but I fired him for gross incompetence. When he left, he stole a fragment from me and punched my dog, which was the fourth and final part of the key. The fragment is part of the key, not my dog.
You paid all kinds of pretty colors to boot. If you need healing, step right up.
I said thirds earlier. I meant, yeah, it's 4. We've already collected 3.
Oh! Crazy Earl has more jobs he'd like that chump vault hunter to do.
Let's get you rolling.
So,
Enough walking.
because I'm actually going to go ahead and be fighting in vehicle combat here, we're going straight over here to the Salt Flats. This is where we're going to find Baron Flint. That name didn't mean a ton to us at the time when this came out. But now, with the 4th game coming out,
I
means quite a bit more to us. Might even, oh wow, that's a nuts capacity. But now, you know, that means quite a bit to us actually. We've had Captain Flint was the first boss encounter in the second game, and even we actually meet a very interesting character on the character like Vault Hunter Select screen in Borderlands 3. If anyone ever decided to play Zane. Show this little cubby hole down here for anyone, just in case you needed to know. It's a shithole. But yeah, so Baron Flint is related to Captain Flint, and both of them are related to Zane Flint. So it's all one big happy family here.
You've come. Excellent. I've been looking forward to this. My men are impatient. But I shall savor this until your blood has soaked the sand and your carcass is nothing but food for Rock. Come get some.
He's just a really misunderstood guy. He's super sweet. We promise. No, he's a very cool character. Very interesting in terms of like it. The other characters don't. The other bosses we've met up till now just kind of indiscriminately seem like a bandit, a psycho, something kind of like that. You know, this is one of the first ones that we've dealt with so far that had a legitimate kind of reason why he's being a bad guy. So it kind of gives a little bit more. This is the first bad guy with actual story behind what makes him a villain. Maybe not a true, like, well fleshed out villain, but a villain nevertheless. Just gotta kill a couple bandit patrols before we gain access to the infiltrator, or the Thor, which is the giant excavator that Flint has made his base of operations. Which, I mean, that is one hell of a castle if you're gonna make that your base. It's one of the few things that, like, I really feel like we should have had another visit to at some point in the franchise. And would love to see maybe it'd be cool if like Zane tried to, especially now that he's no longer working with his previous employers, if he just tried to say to hell with it and took his inheritance from his old relative Baron Flint. So if we look here, there's really not a ton in this area. Kind of like the Daw Headlands with the very large, just open-ended kind of area around here. There's a few fast travel points, or a few travel points to get us kind of to some other areas we'll find later. But the main focal point here is this big entry point right here.
You lies, pound! Some meat!
So I'm gonna be able to start showing you guys now a little bit of what's nice about this. Kind of like when I earlier in the playthrough when I had that single shot combat rifle. That's kind of what we can use this as. This is able to be used as a much a very comfortable and flexible, kind of in the moment. Not quite a sniper so much as a just little carbine. Just a very reflexive aiming.
Nobody shoots my buddies but me!
I'm really good at
Take a couple pop shots and then kind of move on type thing. Not quite as stressed about lining up a super long range shot with perfect accuracy. Another thing I can just kind of take shots with as I need and go from there.
In a world of no guarantees, you can always count on Marcus guns.
And once again, buying the SDU if you're at full ammo for your previous SDU size just bumps you to that new max ammo. So, saves you a little bit of money. Typically worth just to make sure that you're already kind of maxed out. Helps you out a little bit.
You never should have come here, now you're gonna pay!
Good luck. See you next time.
see what we've got.
Come meet your maker!
I would recommend for anyone that wants to actually pick up Borderlands 1 as a game to just try out and see if you enjoy the series. The first game, if you really wanted to try and play solo, I think the character that might be the easiest is either going to be the basic soldier, Roland. You know, having that second body in his turret really helps you out. Plus its skills later on really just do start to fully support you, whether it's ammo or the healing that it can get. You just, it kind of does the whole shebang for you in terms of supporting. Whereas on top of that, you can get Mordecai with the ability to fully just ignore shields in his capstone trespass. And as you see, I mean, you get a capstone pretty quickly in this game, which fully ignoring shields and just that becomes a very just massive damage increase, and almost means you can ignore anything relating to elementals, and then you can just only care about the biggest damage number you see. As well as his action skill, Bloodwing, is incredibly big utility. You can make it do stuns, you can make it drop health and money. You can get it to do multiple hits, target multiple enemies, all kinds of things like that. That's a huge damage thumper, but it is still a thumper, so none of that matters. Gonna go ahead and pop up here and start dealing with Baron Flint and his friends,
Guest, please
Hans
make
and
yourself at
Franz.
home. My men will be with you shortly. Never let it be said that the great Baron Flint is short on hospitality.
So because of the hospitality that he offers, so our friend is sitting up there. can't actually hit him now. He's just there. But it is cool that you can see him already. As soon as you step out, though, now get his cutscene. He immediately starts moving. Because of how much stuff is here, you're really gonna be better off kind of getting off that initial spawn point. There's a ton of enemies that are gonna bum rush you. Obviously, kind of got an idea of that. Okay, so we're getting. That's our boy, which you can start damaging. And that's Hans and Ron. So these are two kind of mixes between a berserker, bruiser type guy and a badass psycho. With them, you get the worst of both. You do gotta be careful about jumping on this side rail. You will get launched off. Because of that. Gotta go ahead and bump over to the Anarchy, which once again, guys, this is a level 13 double Anarchy. Still just absolutely punching so far above its weight, it's not even funny. This thing has not stopped slamming above its weight the entire game. Once we get this ramp drop down, then it makes your ascent over here to fight Baron much easier. It actually kind of drops down quite a bit for you. You could go that side, but this is kind of the side that I tend to like. I feel a little bit safer over here. There should be a... Ooh. There should be a ledge that you can kind of tightrope over there if you can catch it just right. Must have missed it, or I could be misremembering. That's all good either way. Doing it the old-fashioned way of just walking up here is also perfectly reasonable and fine. So, like I said, he's got a bandit killer there. Badass raider. Because you gotta remember, this is a, you know, very large scale bandit. You gotta think of him as he is the kind of top dog for this whole area. Before I kill him, I'm just gonna put the red chest back here.
Mine.
That's a nice stinger. Probably not worth using compared to the Anarchy we got, but Baron Flint does have a nice weapon, though. This is his boomstick. So in kind of an effort to show that off, we will come over this side. So you can't really get in there, sadly. Feels like there's definitely got to be something in there. Just a little ammo crate. Once you get up here, his secret stash pops up. Get your mission.
The Crimson Lance are about to make an unpleasant discovery and learn a harsh lesson. No, this wasn't supposed to happen. Stand by.
This is Commandant Steele of the Atlas Corporation Crimson Lance Starborn Brigade. Be advised, in preparation of upcoming special operations of the Lance, I have ordered the Echo network shut down. Any attempt to circumvent our control will be met with punishment of death. Do not test it, or we may shut down the commerce grid as well. This is the only warning you will receive.
So, what just happened is, Annis,
What the hell is going
although
on?
eccentric,
Has Steel gone insane? They're shutting down the ecosystem, and now we're getting reports of weapons fire all around Sanctuary. It's a war zone. Sanctuary is getting pounded out there. They're sending distress signals to anyone who'll listen. But if they shut down the Echo, I'll be unable to arrange for it.
This is not how it happens. Can you see me? With the Echo network down, I can't see. We're flying blind, friend. Our window is closing. The vault can only be opened every 200 years. If it isn't opened soon, your chance will be lost.
okay. So in an effort to try to kind of get that. So although eccentric she may be, you know, a little surprising, Tannis has decided to completely disregard any of us and the sort of the people on her team. So now she is working with the Lance and the Atlas Corporation. So we are all kind of up a creek now. The fourth vault key piece and Tannis, as well as all the other pieces, because we gave them to Tannis, are in the hands of Atlas right now. So everything is just working perfectly for them. We are completely just at a loss. Atlas has now shut down the Echo network, making it so no one can communicate. And they have also said, if you do anything that we don't like, we're just gonna start shooting everyone, and we'll even turn off the trading. We'll make it so no one can sell stuff. We'll do everything. And they're just running around like Gestapo, essentially, doing literally whatever they want. They're on full-on dictatorship, doing anything and everything however they feel like it. it ain't looking great, to be honest. You know, Atlas is big and powerful, and they've made their entire fortune up to this point using the power of the vault, or the technology from the vault, and Iridian tech in general. So here we are. They've shut down the gate that we came in through. Gotta pop out of there. Gotta remember, cars are kind of an instant death, so gotta avoid that. But now that I have intuition, also having them come at me is a little bit convenient with this defiler being able to kind of very reliably dome them. Those are the pods that Atlas drops to kind of deploy their units. Think Halo ODST pods. That's kind of what they use. So here we are kind of going into that next phase of the game. So that whole portion that we just kind of wrapped up was, I would kind of think of that as Act 2. Now we're kind of flowing into Act 3. So we got introduced to the Crimson Lance in Old Haven, and this is where we're going to get much more kind of inundated with them, kind of all around. So the area we just entered was called the back door, because we're, you know, coming in through the back door of their entire compound. Another one of those spots where, with some good parkour, you can skip quite a bit of work here. Like, look at this. Like, all these invisible walls just to stop a grenade jump for no reason. I mean, I know some of that's not invisible walls. Some of it's just the normal geometry giving you a hard time. But, like, some of that is new invisible walls that they added for the purpose of being there to stop people from being able to, like, do a grenade jump. I don't get the purpose. As I said before, I am super happy and I appreciate Blind Squirrel Games for doing such a good job in a lot of ways with this remake, or the remaster. But, did they go way over the top with trying to just fix problems that didn't exist
Aw, did that hurt?
on a game that is almost built on letting people break it. Like, one of the core tenets of the franchise is let people break it. And they sure did their best to duct tape every hidey hole they could. We are coming up onto a interesting little section here. This is going to be our first boss fight involving any of Atlas. No, it's kind of a big deal because we're getting 2 red chests beforehand, which is obviously kind of a outlandish little weird thing. Never really happened before. Being given red chests before a boss fight. By the way, the boomstick is a solid weapon for sure, but because of the accuracy and it once again is an AoE, it's kind of like the Carnage. It just doesn't really do a ton for me in this current build. That's why we're not going to worry about it. So that's why we're just going ahead selling it. Doesn't really do a ton for us, so it's not worth our time. Alrighty. So, we are going to go ahead and come in here with all the best intentions. Uh-oh.
Death to all who oppose us!
It seems like we were expected. And this is our first encounter with an Iridian weapon. That is what that is. That came from a Iridian cannon. So you will actually start being able to encounter Iridian weapons from this point forward in the game, which I think is one of the best aspects of this game, and sadly, we never actually encounter them again in the franchise in a form quite like this. After this game, they make a very slight showing in the second game in the manner of E-Tech, and that's very loosely. E-Tech stands for Iridian Tech, weapons that are, utilizing Iridian Tech. So Master McCloud here is guaranteed to drop his unique weapon, which is Iridian. He's a little bit of a tanky boy. It's actually not hard to dodge his, but it hits like a truck. If he would have came a little bit closer to us, we would have been fine there. I was trying to play a little bit more tactful and not honestly just bum rush and kind of clean sweep it, if you want to be real. This is really not a hard fight if you do it the clean way. There you go. So he drops the 101010 cannon. It is an Iridian weapon. Their red text is a bunch of binary. Don't know what it says. Have never been bored enough to actually find out what it says. Don't think today's the day either. But you notice for the magazine, it says infinite. What we are going to actually take the time to check out, although the S&S sniper was really fun, and still is very fun, it is already kind of served its purpose. As you guys can see, it just kind of, compared to the Defiler, for example, it just doesn't really do much. So, it says infinite, shoots that, kind of there you go. And after a short bit, starts recharging. You can keep shooting it until it is out of charge, and then it has to recharge before you can shoot again. It doesn't need the full amount that it would take if it was a full bar to shoot. Even right now, I can shoot again. It does really good damage. 800 damage. It's a pretty solid weapon, but it's still, it is what it is kind of thing. This definitely isn't necessarily my favorite Iridian weapon, but it works. And you're guaranteed to get it. The downside is they have their own proficiency. It's also kind of a good thing they have their own proficiency, and all Iridians share the same proficiency. There are a bunch of different Iridian weapons that cover a lot of different kind of weapon archetypes. Shotguns, somewhat like rifles, all kinds of stuff. Snipers, there's all kinds of them that kind of do different things. So you can get a lot of bang for your buck on Iridian weapons. The downside is you've been building up proficiencies all the way up till level 33 now for SMGs. So now swap over to going whole hog on an Iridian weapon, you're losing a lot of that progress. But nothing says you have to go, cold turkey. Just a nice thing to kind of keep in your back pocket now. Alrighty. We will probably do a little bit more here before we wrap up today. Try to get a little bit further and start looking for a spot to call it. The patent's just never gonna end up getting used, honestly. There's not really much of a purpose keeping it. So, I mean, you guys just saw, it took 3 shots to kill that defender. So like, it's not bad. It's just, you know, that's not the best in the world. There are a couple in the code legendary Iridian weapons that you can't actually get to drop naturally. But with some of the mod tools that have been released, you can actually get, and they are incredible. Like some to the tune of like, we're talking just super busted. I think some of the Iridian weapons are like, shoot a bouncy ball of corrosive and fire, and one that does fire, that literally will just launch and spread that ball or multiply that ball all over the place. And in the case of the fire, it just leaves a fiery pool everywhere. And for the corrosive, it just keeps bouncing all over the place. So you end up just... By the way, the corrosive one is absolutely just horrible to hear, because it just never... It's so much louder than it actually needs to be. It's the worst. Trying to remember all the little chests. There are quite a few red chests in here. I think pretty much all of the actual chests here are red chests. They did a really good job of treating this as kind of the mother load for the base game. Atlas is supposed to be the premium, you know, place for weapons, gear, everything. You know, they have it all. That's their whole shtick. They are the best spot.
Quick, this way.
So we're up to a 39 in the backpack. There.
And open.
There we go. And not only is this one a chest, also a shortcut, which is really great. Another thumper, sadly. But yeah, we're up to 39 backpack space. So the next claptrap we do is going to be the last one we need to worry about. Because once you hit 42, that's pretty much all you got to worry about. After that, you're not even... I don't remember if in this playthrough if you can get more or if you're if it's still a chance, but in the second playthrough you can get higher storage, but instead of a guaranteed drop from those quests, it's a chance. So what will happen is you'll do the quest to give him that, dude, that's I was about to be pissed. I thought he was just gonna hide and do me like that. But what'll happen is while you're doing whatever it is you got to do, you will essentially while you're doing the claptrap missions, you'll have random reward chance to get a SDU up to your max of, I think it's like 56 or something like that. It bumps it up a little bit higher in the 50s, but that's kind of where you max out. But come to find out, Panis didn't betray us. She got kidnapped by Atlas. Surprise, surprise. The guys willing to start literally just randomly shooting everyone aren't the nice guys. Instead of just running down the corridor there, you can hop in these vents here, and you pop out right behind him. You also can do some other little ninja stuff here. Really trying, but it doesn't really do anything for you. I don't know why he's running down there. Whatever. You're also going to start noticing we should start seeing more greens and blues consistently. Not that we won't see any more whites. That's one thing this game kind of sticks to its guns pretty well about, is we consistently... Wow, that's a good machine gun. That 8 fire rate really makes a big difference, staying off of that 5 fire rate. But instead of like in Borderlands 2 and 3, you just almost stop seeing whites at a certain point, and it just kind of takes away a big portion of the loot. Okay, that's a big enough upgrade we might swap to. Yeah, we'll lock that. We might swap to it if we feel like we're getting... If we feel like we're getting hit and pounded on a little too hard, we might swap over to. So this is us trying to get the Echo Network back turned on. Just because the Echo Network's kind of crucial to everyone. Literally everyone needs it. Oh no. So, with Atlas in general, environmental effects are going to be a big player for us. I would go so far as to say probably one of our favorite aspects to go for. Probably not going to make that. His Scorpio turret's healing him. Roland can also get that aspect. Since I already killed all this, it's just easier to run up this way. But this is kind of why I was talking about maybe needing to swap over to a different build. Not that weapon double aim. That might just fix the problems. Just essentially needing, you need more to kind of be able to get through everything. Really hate the significantly lower fire rate there. Like almost enough that might not be much of an upgrade for us, but that's gonna have to work probably. We have enough skills that are really boosting stuff that'll probably be okay. The other thing that was really important, that right there might actually just be enough on its own also. What's our pistol at? Load speed and accuracy. We might go ahead and slot that on in. So, goal is definitely to check this out. Honestly, that should help with ammo efficiency too a bit. With that slightly slower, it's definitely slower, obviously, but big upgrade to the transfusion. That's a shield upgrade, probably. Or 3065. Oh, yeah. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and swap over to that, honestly. Yeah, so swapping from a level 16 double anarchy is probably going to be quite the help. And this TMP, this SNS TMP is going to be quite nice for us. It'd be really cool if the Borderlands 2 and on option to inspect a weapon was there. I'd really love to be able to kind of show that off a little bit. Yeah, Atlas, you know, they really just need to work on their stuff a little bit. For such a valuable company, they really seem to be kind of broke looking, huh?
Get your hands here.
So Atlas may seem like they want to pretend like they have it all going on, but they really just don't. They've been poking the bear on a few fronts, and, you know, we like to think that we as the Vault Hunter are quite the issue, but they have other problems going on. So you can't just kind of stand back and let this go on its own, but Guardians are worth a lot of XP, and there's no reason to let that go.
Stronger by the minute.
Go ahead, swap over this. Like I said, any enemy now has the opportunity to drop a Iridian weapon, so I will try to at least show off the Iridians, just to kind of let you see what they can do. That's a pretty gnarly and also 75 with a 10 fire rate and a fire accessory. Okay. Just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of love that one's way. You don't have to do this mission right away, but as I've already said, we are in a position where we can just kind of run straight through now. So that's kind of what we're just gonna do here. The defenders are our biggest kind of kind of hurdle in combat right now. I'm just trying to make sure that we are hitting those crit spots on them. Especially with something like this, it's pretty inaccurate all around. We just really aren't hitting what we need to, or what we really hope to hit typically with this. So we have 3 transmitter consoles here, or in this area, that we're actually targeting. Which is just, essentially we're turning on 3 computers in 3 areas. Kind of like a GPS system for the planet to turn back on the Echo system. Because for whatever reason, we thought Atlas was the company that we could trust with that. Obviously, that didn't work out super well for us. But that's all pretty easily dealt with. As you see, Atlas is really dealing with a lot of other problems, as we can tell from their various levels of disarray. There are quite a few different types of guardians that we're also going to start seeing here shortly. There's a lot more than just the basic guardians in the in that initial area we found earlier in the headlands. Kind of works out going down right there. Tap the barrel. Last thing you want to do is walk into a barrel. Low health. And we're trying to avoid picking up everything because we are trying to kind of push through this a little bit before we gotta head off for the day. Definitely don't want to take all of our time with running back and forth, selling every little tiny morsel when it's not really needed. Kind of like I said though, if you guys are noticing, we're just getting heaps of red chests here. Absolutely loads of them. Getting this out in preparation for the Guardians that we're about to meet. So those right there, the Sarah Guardians, are, it's not that they are super difficult, but small bodies with big shields and almost like a laser beam style projectile in terms of how fast it shoots. And it just melts your health and keeps you on the back foot. I think we got them all, or at least enough. another interesting one. It's got that low fire rate. It's really not all that great, but better than nothing. There's another cold one that just picked up. Better fire rate, same mag though. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for better magazine. I'll sacrifice a bit of damage for quite a bit of magazine. So we are pushing on through, just getting our way up here, trying to make sure everything's all hunky-dory and get the Echo network back online for the horrible people of Pandora who don't deserve any of our help whatsoever. Just gotta make sure you remember that.
All this stuff.
If anything, we should be helping Atlas because they are bad people. I mean, if anything, Candace probably should be locked up. You gotta remember, she literally watched all of her coworkers die, laughed about it because she didn't like them, and then ate the last coworker who she thought was her best friend. It's all about perspective here. Who's really the good guy? But that's kind of what I was talking about. As you see, it's not like it's all that damaging. It's just super annoying. Even more so when you're kind of coming from a position of getting hit from other guys also. Like, if you're getting hit from someone else at the same time, like in an actual bind, that turns into a very annoying enemy when you're trying to get some recovery going.
It's a real wonder when you got my machines in there scary deals.
I probably would never use that either. I have more proficiencies on the pistols, and it's just a slightly more accurate version of the pistol I have, essentially. The goal here is just get in.
Not trusting you, but we've no time for who betrayed whom. Steele has taken the key and is already on her way to the vault. Hey,
Yeah.
for me, take the bitch down.
She even self-admits that she still betrayed you. She could have actually just lied and been like, "Ah, no, I didn't do anything." No, she, yeah, 100%, like, just straight up betrayed you.
Whoa! I can see you! I don't know how you did it, but I can see everything again.
Alrighty. So, what we are heading to do now is actually finding Steele at the vault. Because this is kind of the run up to the final part of the game, I'm gonna keep going and we should be able to finish this up and next stream will be the DLCs. Whether it's all of them or not, I'm not quite sure, but should be able to definitely pound out quite at least most of them. So we're getting back over to the salt flats. And this is where some of those other...
Back up. I'm guessing we have you to thank for that. If you need anything at all, remember to use the commerce screen. I'm sure there's something helpful for you there, partner.
Yeah. And this is kind of where that comes back into play. Some of those old spots that I pointed out before, where it was a pre-set up wall with a
there is no
essentially
time
a travel
left.
node.
You must reach the vault by any means
Those
necessary.
have all become
kind
of your new travel nodes to get through and kind of additionally travel from some of these areas. So now you can kind of more freely travel throughout the area. We don't have to use that to get from there to here or so on, but that's kind of what it's all for. Because we are, I'm a little bit on a time crunch and don't need any of the XP, I am just kind of skipping all these extra fights. Like I said, pretty sure I'm either on level or ahead for this. Yeah, I'm literally ahead. So I should be probably right on the money for the actual
hourglass is on
final
the last
boss.
few grains of sand. You must reach the vault by any means necessary. We will not get another opportunity like this in your lifetime.
As you can see, though, with some of that, the Guardians, their shield is massive. These guys are absolutely just tanky as sin with their shield, but once you get that shield taken out, they immediately fold. Okay, perfect. An Iridian Ball Blaster. So I'm going to go ahead and swap over to this just to show it. So it comes with a nice little, really cool scope, actually. Same thing with the charging mechanic. But it's more of like a full auto, not quite like an SMG, but this is more of like a kind of mix of like an assault rifle, something like that. Not really good enough to, kind of like in that mid-tier combat rifle area. I'll save it because it's neat, but we'll probably try to use it in some of the DLCs, but I hope you kind of get... We're looking for a little bit better. So we're coming up on the main areas down here. That's a badass Guardian, and you're seeing like this guy's. It took an entire mag of this on him to even remotely get through his shield. Like I still barely got through it. And got my shot, which is exactly what I need for these guys. This is gonna make it so that I should be able to phase walk and just use it as kind of a burst to essentially blow up any of their shields and kind of go from there. if I remember correctly, there should be a red chest over in one of these spots. Somewhere roundabout. If I don't find it, don't really care all that much. As you guys can tell, there's the one directly in front of me, and then there's the one over to the left there. Should be able to kill him pretty easy with the shotgun, and then I'm going to swap back over. These are kind of our last couple of shots to really find new gear. Being these chests, another cannon. Same damage roughly, so if it wasn't good enough then, it's probably not good enough now. Double SMG, not gonna be good enough. Kind of the same thing there. You're gonna see a lot of the same kind of issue. Because we knew what we were really hoping for, we did a really good job of finding stuff. So if it isn't exactly what we want, you know, we're probably not going to take it at this point. We've been really picky up to this point, so we don't have to be a beggar to find something useful now. And it allows us to really be able to just get kind of exactly what we need to be the most successful possible. So this is the final lead-up area up until the vault itself. This is the Iridian Promontory. Really beautiful title card there.
Encounter enough beasties out there, and you'll be happy you bought from the rest. Who needs a real doctor when you got my machines and their scary needles?
Perfect. Actually, not that great. I'd rather just have what I already got then. There are a couple more chests throughout this portion of the area, but that's gonna be about all. We're gonna find a couple other new types of guardians while we're getting through here. One of those newer guardians that I haven't shown you yet is actually right up here. Arch Guardian. Or Arch Guardian, depending on what you want to call it. Either way, people have called the vault symbol that we see, the enclosed upside down V type looking symbol. Call the arch of that being the upside down V I just described. So, being that an arch, they're the guardian of the arch. That kind of thing. A lot of ways you could describe things, but that is kind of what has been gathered by a lot of people for that, in terms of the nomenclature for it. A lot of people tend to think that's fairly valid as well for it. It makes a considerable amount of sense. Solid sniper. So I'll definitely be hitting 35 before we get over to the vault itself.
Let's see what we've got.
See what that mercenary has. It does not have any region on it, but it does have a ton of quicksilver, which is quite nice, and quite a bit more. I'll probably use that for the actual fight. There's a decent shot that turns out to be kind of the go-to for the fight itself. I don't have anything equipped right now that's super great against those Sarah Guardians. That's why I'm not really messing with them. You can crit these Guardians, by the way. They do have their heads. It just a bit small and oddly placed. It's in that slightly forward drooping position. So if you're struggling to crit them, that's mostly why. Oh, a crux. That's... okay, that might be something worth looking at. Okay. So, the shotgun we have currently does a lot more damage per shot. But the crux here is going to do a lot more damage throughout its time before reloading. So this liquid sniper here, very, very high damage, but this SNS liquid wrath is nuts. So this is kind of like your ideal, preferably with shock is the element you would really want on the sniper here, but like this is kind of your ideal setup on a SNS. Excuse me, sorry about that. Especially now that I have an element on that sniper, there's a decent shot I swap on over to this from the defiler here shortly. Especially in the fight coming up. Crux here might carry quite a bit of weight for me, getting through some of these Guardians. So the Crux is just an extremely accurate if that is showing like a really good idea of what this does. You still gotta, you know, try a little bit to use it appropriately, but this thing is just nuts. The damage a little bit lower, obviously, than a max roll damage. Desert Sniper was a pretty solid too. There is one major problem with this upcoming boss fight that we're approaching, and that is it did not ever drop any actual loot when you killed it. And by any, I mean, like, literally, you could maybe drop a couple white items, and that's all you would get. Like, from the final boss of the game, dropping a couple white items, like 4 or 5 levels under you, pretty good. So in the remaster here, they actually spawned in some chests after you kill it, and, you know, kind of made it a little bit more worthwhile for you, kind of made it a little bit more rewarding. But at the root of it, you do still kind of, the rewards for killing the final boss are not the best in this game. You definitely do not feel like they thought about that very heavily. Definitely forgotten about, probably. Just super worth coming over here and grabbing this stuff. As with every other red chest, you never know, they could be the one that give you the I haven't really mentioned a crux the entire playthrough so far because legendaries are just, you know, extremely rare in this game because they're just not really farmable, or not targetable, aside from, you know, farming a red chest super inefficiently and hoping. So I didn't really worry about that. Sticking to your more realistic farming options are kind of the go-to in this game. And that's kind of what I mostly focused on. But a crux is one of those few legendaries that, like, I really hope to get in a playthrough like this, where I'm just trying to smoothly walk through and kind of enjoy our time. You really want to just have an enjoyable playthrough and never struggle for anything. This is kind of one of your best ways to do it.
This is it. The reason you're here. I've guided you to this point, and you've done so well. Know that you are ready for this. When the vault opens, brace yourself. I believe in you. You can do this.
It's like she knows something might happen. I will place the skill point before I actually come all the way up and do anything. Further. Final point there. That feels so nice. True power of this sniper is coming through now, compared to that other one was really solid, but having an elemental on this just shows such a difference. It goes from just a good sniper to absolutely just flooring everyone. Okay, so we have everything kind of set up. Yep. Okie dokie, guys. So, without further ado, this is entering the vault.
You have failed to listen to Commandant Steele. I've warned you time and again, yet you persist on ignoring my orders. The contents of the vault are rightfully the property of the Atlas Corporation. But you... you belong to me.
So, Commandant Steele.
Sergeant, get your team ready to go inside.
Is the siren. Was a siren.
Don't give up.
And
This
the
creature
vault.
may be immortal in its own realm, but in this reality, it cannot survive without a host. And that makes it vulnerable. When it becomes flesh and blood, it can be hurt, even killed. You just need to know where to aim.
So the tentacles do proc kill skills. That's why I got my intuition buff off of that. The main thing is you're aiming for the big eye or the mouth in the middle. The tentacles will spawn. There's also like parasites that he spawns, stuff like that. This fight is actually not very difficult, all in all. He gives you plenty of options for the second one there. And he's obviously got a huge spot to just drain damage on. It's good to kind of mitigate the parasites a little bit. Don't kill them all, obviously. like I said, not a difficult fight by any means, but interesting nonetheless.
You opened the vault! I'm sorry I couldn't warn you about what was in it. But for you to be there to stop it, it couldn't have unfolded any other way. You did well, and your actions haven't gone unrewarded. The key won't open the vault for another 200 years, but I'm sure Tanis will pay you quite the fortune for it. Now go. I'll be watching.
So our guardian angel was actually
But check me out.
utilizing a Hyperion
Oh, come on. Get
satellite
down.
this whole time. Ooh. So we will get into that information. All right. So I skipped the credits there, guys, because you guys can't actually see that part. Got copyrighted music, but the main thing is the Claptrap interplanetary ninja assassin robot is a focal point of the DLC that comes out for the 4th DLC of this game. So we'll go into that a bit later. This is the vault key. It is uncharged, which so as far as we know, it's completely worthless as of now. But we will check in on that and learn more about the vault key over the course of the series from here on. So these, whatever we find here, doesn't matter a ton. A worse double anarchy than what we even had before. But once again, we are doing the DLC, so ideally something cool that helps us kind of get through that would be nice. We would love, like I was saying, a bladed revolver or something along those lines, with like 200 melee damage. Something that can really help us kind of get through whatever DLCs. Okay, so this is one of the Gearbox new legendaries that they put into the game. So these are all very highly overtuned. Because we got it, we'll check into it. This is one of the Gearbox sniper rifle, or the Iridian sniper rifles. So we'll also check that one out. I'm gonna open these other chests first before we go straight into that. Okay, cool. Corrosive and another corrosive. We'll use those so that have that.
Let's see what we got.
Raptor, revolver. Bloody Justice with only 100. Okay. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and pop those corrosive. Yeah, so if you get 2 of the same tier artifact, you can't actually use them. So now we have Incense, Shock, and Corrosive all at level 3. So we're missing Explosive at level 3. No big deal. We will check out the Iridian Sniper Rifle and this Mugshot just to kind of show it off. I will at least save this Bloody Justice just so I have something with the blade so I can potentially swap over to that. But that is all in this area. All those chests used to not exist whenever you would kill the destroyer. It used to literally be nothing here. So you would have killed the boss and not get a single reward pretty much. So they at least did better on that. The nice part is after doing this, it kind of scales up the rest of the area for you a bit. It's just kind of a nice little help allowing you a bit more of a just a bit more overall flexibility. So, because this one has the ammo regen, I really don't want to get rid of it, but I just don't think it's enough to really warrant carrying all that much, especially since I am thinking about swapping builds here shortly. So we will kind of stand where we are for the time being. And I'm going to end in just a moment whenever we go talk to Tannis and kind of see what's going on. Kind of get our marching orders for the end of the game. There's a ton of side quests that haven't been done, even just leading up to this, and then quite a few unlock after this point, just coming up right here. So the 4 DLCs that are coming up would be the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned. Then we have probably the... It's a good DLC, it is, but it is for sure the most unenjoyable DLC, which is Moxie's Underdome. And then you have the General Knox DLC. And then finally, they wrap up the game with the Claptrap's Robo-Lution. So she gives us 200k and 17,000 experience. And that is the end of the story missions. You'll notice we no longer have any story missions with that vault symbol aside from the one from the General Knox DLC. That is the only story mission because we haven't started any other DLCs. So that is the end of Borderlands 1. We are officially kind of done with the first playthrough. We could at this point save, quit, and start playthrough 2. As I've said before, we're not going to be doing a second playthrough on this save file. We may do it at some other point. We may come back through and push all the way. We may finish up these playthroughs and grind these characters out and do all kinds of other fun stuff with them. But for the time being, these characters are all just going to be one playthrough, one run of the DLCs, and kind of finish out with that. So the biggest thing here was we were able to kind of get this done and really enjoy it for what it was.
go now?
Like I said, sorry guys. Someone came to the door, the dog's freaked out. I was just going to show this off really quick. This is the Gearbox Legendary combat rifle called the Mugshot. Red text is, does your face hurt? It's killing me. So 3-round burst. Massive damage. Yeah, it's good. Period. We will probably be messing with it, testing it out a little bit in these DLCs, but that's for next time. Like I said previously, guys, we will be checking all that out in the next stream or two while we finish those out. But I appreciate anyone who stopped by, and yeah, we'll catch y'all next time. Thank you. Bye.